One does it. You do it.
Okay, one more time.
One more time.
Okay, here we go. First
Alright.
episode. What are we doing here?
So we have started our first film podcast because we are a new film student at the college, and we're thinking about improving our acknowledging skills.
Yeah, like analyzing stuff and more like, I don't know, like talking about film.
Yeah.
Our oral
Yeah.
communicative skills.
Exactly. So we can like digest and like break down movies, how they make it, and like how they write it, and like the emotions they give and stuff.
Yeah, and just talk about it. Like and we don't even know the name to this.
Yeah.
So you guys know, whoever listens to this, whoever like lonely motherfucker who listens to this, nobody's gonna listen to this, but
At least in the beginning, nobody's gonna ever watch it.
yeah, but if you're watching this, you know the name before we do. So this week, what did you watch?
We started with Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Um,
It's pretty
because-
new. It's pretty new.
it's pretty new.
Yeah, it was a
It's
lot
been out
of
for
hype.
June 21st. So roughly 2 months? No.
Maybe not that new.
Okay.
Like for how many months? 3 months? Yeah. 3
Nah,
months? Almost
2.
4. No. July, August, and,
Okay, it's 4-3. Okay.
and
Yeah.
September. So almost 4 months. So
Okay.
3.5 maybe.
3.5. Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna jump into it and just start talking about what we thought was good, bad. So
Yeah.
we won't have actually a structure. We will have more like a just open discussion about the entire movie.
And spoiler alert, we're gonna like talk about
Yeah.
what happens in the film. So you haven't seen it?
If you think this is gonna be spoiler free, then get
No,
your
it's
ass out
not.
of here.
So if you want to see the movie first, go ahead. If you saw the movie and you liked it and you want to hear us talk about it,
Yeah.
let's go. So it starts with like a flashback almost to 9 years ago when what was his name?
Bo.
Yeah, well, the thing was about Bo basically,
Yeah.
but it was more like it was a flashback to the first kid.
Andy.
Andy, yeah.
Yeah.
So Andy and he grew up and whatever. So we got a scene in the beginning. What was the scene about? Do you remember?
So the scene was, it was raining, it was pouring, and I'm sorry. It's pouring, and all the toys are gathered around to try and save this RC car that's in the first movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they use everything to save this little car, but once they get up, they realize that Bo, the sheep herd toy,
Right.
that belongs to Molly, the sister, is being taken away because she doesn't need it anymore. And Woody does everything he can to try and save her, but eventually she says that's like her time is over, that she won't be needed by Molly anymore. So it's better that she moves on.
So it wasn't about Andy. The scene wasn't about Andy. It was about we're this because they had like a montage about like about the years that gone by.
Oh, where he grew up.
Was that after that or
That was
it
after.
Before? After.
Yeah.
Yeah, after.
But
so,
there's one scene there that I thought was really eye-catching in the beginning.
okay.
So there's a scene where Woody and Bo like talk to each other, and they're a bit underneath a car. Bo is in a box with another toys and stuff, and Woody's trying to convince her to come back, but she says like my time is over.
Yeah.
I should go.
And I think like that scene was like almost, you know, it's like something is gonna happen in the future, foreshadowing the like, or making the audience remember that there's like a love story-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's
going
more
on.
than just friends.
Yeah,
toy.
there's more, but they haven't got into it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I thought it was like interesting to have Molly looking for Woody.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Where's Woody? I can't find him." And she found him outside.
Yeah.
Was it Molly?
No, I think it was Andy.
Was it Andy or Molly?
Andy.
Okay, so first it was that scene with Andy. Yeah. And then... Yeah. And then there was Molly.
Yeah, but the thing is...
But was it because they brought Boo into the house because... Or before Boo came, he was scared of the dark and he couldn't sleep. Was it him or her?
No, it was Molly.
It was Molly.
Bo was never Andy's toy.
Okay. Okay, I got
it. But the thing was that when they're underneath the car, there's a scene with like lights underneath, or like lights in the distance from like houses and stuff.
Okay.
And since it's raining, becomes this like blur, and
there's a nice book.
I remember just being like contrasts and like super like amount. It's like manic colors and stuff like that.
Yeah, this movie was pretty like moody.
Yeah, it was just pretty.
And like
it's like eye catching.
Yeah, and it was such a long time ago. I saw like a really good animated film.
Yeah.
We saw Spirited Away. Spirited Away. We saw that, and it's a classic. But seeing this and the details of it is like incredible. Like, damn, we're so far into the future. It's crazy that they can do something like this. And
that's the thing where there's one scene where Bo and Woody also are on top of a carousel.
Yeah, right.
Like during the broad day, not the later scenes, but the broad day scene. And you can see clearly that the light is over exaggerated.
Okay, so overexposed.
Yeah, overexposed. Okay. Yeah. So like they are very glancy. Or like sparkling and...
Did you notice that Boo had a lot of sweat on her?
Yeah.
She was like more glancy.
Yeah, she was super glancy.
Yeah, maybe it's because like she's an old toy. Or I think she's made of plastic while Woody is made of wood.
I think Woody is made more like, rubbery-ish.
Okay. What do you think she's
because
made
they
of?
Can like... There's a scene when the dad steps on his face. Just like...
Kids that's true. And okay, so she's made of like a ceramic, like
I would say ceramic.
Yeah, because she broke her hand, right?
Yeah, and it was like clean cut off, like.
Yeah, she's maybe it's because she's made of ceramic, so she's like reflecting light in a different way or something.
Yeah, but in that scene, I noticed that every scene where the camera is on Woody. Everything in the background is like full focus. You can see every house, every detail in the background. But with Bo, it's the opposite. It's like super blurry in the background. And I think that's like a message to their different mindsets for the duration of the movie. That Bo wants to be free, like not having a kid and all that. But Woody really wants a kid and not being free.
True, the symbolics of Woody like focusing in on one thing.
Yeah.
And on this, like, I think she loves him too. But even her like visual, how she sees stuff.
Yeah.
She's like more open to everything. And Woody is like only focused on one thing, and that's why he's not getting over Andy, he's not getting over Molly, and he's not getting over what's the new kid?
Yeah.
Is it Molly? No.
No, the new kid is Bonnie.
Bonnie, yeah. Bonnie.
Molly is Andy's sister.
Okay, so like I'm pretty terrible at names and stuff, so I don't have any clue of what's going on, and I don't even remember the last 3 movies. But talking about symbolic stuff, I thought Buzz Lightyear, his like character arc or like what he went through is pretty nice. Okay. Like he didn't know who he was. I think this whole movie is about finding yourself or finding what you should like go on to be doing or like what your life is about. And Buzz Lightyear, he's like, I need a captain to tell me what to do. So when Woody is not there, and Woody have been like taking this leader role through the all movies, all Toy Story movies, when he's not there, Buzz Lightyear doesn't know what to do. And someone says, what was it? The dinosaur was saying, listen to your inner self or something.
No, it was the scene where when he's looking at Forky, when Forky's sleeping with Bonnie.
Okay.
And Buzz Lightyear says we can like switch like time when we look at the Forky to see that he doesn't escape. And he says like, nah, my inner voice tells me to just do this. And he says, like,
and he was like,
and he's like,
voice.
do you mean like the pull thing you have in your back? But no, the inner voice, like his thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, right.
So the entire story arc with him is like trying to discover what his inner voice is.
Yeah, and he's like kind of stupid, so he presses the buttons, and like it worked out with him like several times, like go, like whatever it was, like no time for thinking, go, or something like that, and he just jumps off the car. But then what I found interesting was one time when he was like pressing, and it wouldn't say what he wanted to do. Yeah, it was about if he should go back or go after Woody.
Yeah.
He saw Woody like running up, and he was like, should I go after Woody or get back to the car? And he was pressing, and like all of his inner voice was saying, get back, like no time, go back, or whatever he was saying.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah, and he was like, no, it's not saying the right thing, and he went for it. So what is beautiful here is when his inner voice didn't say what is true, he said what is true. So it's not always about believing in yourself. Maybe your inner self is not saying the right thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do something else. That was beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. He knew that his voice-com feature on his toy wasn't like saying the thing that he wanted.
Yeah.
So he did have an actual inner voice all the time. He just didn't know.
I think that moment was pretty like pretty important for him, because he was like, okay, maybe it's not saying whatever is true. Okay, now I get it. Now the inner voice is like what I believe to be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Did you notice who was doing the voice for Bunny and the Duck?
Key and Peele.
Yeah, it was so amazing. I loved that they were in it. It's like perfect for them as well. Like it's chained, like they're known to be like one person.
They are like a comedic duo.
Yeah, exactly. So it was so funny, and like how they were like, oh, I know this. I know how to do this. Like, I know the plan. Yeah. Okay, we need to get the key. Okay, we're gonna go after her in the night. Like the little sketch.
Played a long pong. Yeah.
And like, just like run at her or whatever. It was perfect. And it was like so funny. Like how they did that.
Their comedic timing with the bus was also funny. You know, when they're constantly thinking like, how are we gonna get that key?
Yeah.
And then when they really show how to, or when they actually get the key.
Yeah, I was
and
like,
they just drop the key next to them.
It was so hard. So hard.
But that's the thing with those two characters. So, like Key and Peele, awesome. Their characters were super funny.
Oh shit.
Oh, fuck.
What's going on? No! Oh shit. What's up? Okay, we're gonna change to this. Hi, it's his alarm. It's time for his.
I'm sorry. I'm on medication, so I have to take it soon.
Do you need to take it now?
Yeah.
You wanna go get it?
I have it here.
It's okay. Go get it. He's been sick.
Should we cut here or?
No, it's okay. Go ahead. He's been sick.
I'm on penicillin, so.
Yeah,
but you say penicillin?
I guess if you don't know it, you can like translate it from Sweden. From Swedish.
From Sweden.
From Sweden. We put a little frakt on it and send it back to Sweden. But I think like something that I liked with this, like it's animated film, but it was funny and deep in a way that I don't think like it wasn't childish anymore. It was more focused on like, okay, adults might like this as well. And I don't remember like I haven't seen the other films in a more constructive or critical way.
That's the thing. As you say, like this movie felt more like mature.
Yeah.
This movie wasn't like, oh, we're gonna do a wacky adventure, even though it was.
It wasn't like for children. It wasn't just for children. It's not like
it was like as a face value. At the face value, you can watch it as a kid.
Yeah, of course. It's not for just adults.
I think this was more like teenager, if I have to be honest, because it is more like where do I belong? Not where you belong, but like what do you want to do?
That's
like
true.
Are you a free person, or you want to be like restricted? You want to be down like having a kid, or do you want to be like a free toy?
Exactly. So the scene or the theme of the film is more like finding yourself, and I don't know if there's like a deeper connection to something like finding yourself and the teenager. Maybe it has something to do with how children see toys and how grown-ups see other stuff. Like I haven't found that connection yet, but I think it does have something to do with a bigger thing, or it has a lot of space to get deep on, you know.
There's some hidden message in there.
Yeah, probably. And
I think it's more like just grow as a person. Think what do you want to actually do.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, for example, Woody's story was he really wanted to be with Bo, even though there wasn't any like lovely stuff in the movie.
And he was trying
you
to
still got the obvious hints that they were like more than friends.
Exactly.
But as toys.
He was trying so hard to keep like all pulling on every single like reach, you know. He was trying to bring Boo with him while also bring Forky. You know, he was trying to save Forky so hard, and Boo was like, "Look at us, we're all like, we're getting damaged, we're almost dead, like we could have died in there."
Yeah, and he goes back in.
Yeah, exactly. So even though he had a moment where he was like, "Yeah, I really want to be with Boo, but I really want to save Forky for Bonnie," and like it was first when everyone wanted to help him, and like maybe you need to take that time out, you know, gather yourself, like look at what's happening, and then go back to Forky.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like he had the feeling or like the obligation to be with Bonnie, or be with the kid he's currently with.
True.
Because he heard from Bo all the time, you can just leave whenever you want. She has multiple toys. One toy is not going to change everything.
Yeah, exactly. She will forget about it. And
yeah.
Like, I loved...
And eventually he realized it and just say, okay, I have my own life. Like, I don't have to be bound by every rule all the time. Like, there are other toys. And you see, like, Buzz and everyone, like, knowing exactly what he's thinking, just, like, saluting him. So.
Yeah, and it was beautiful how, like, all the toys he met through the journey when he was at the antique store or at the playground was like, you have a kid? Like, they were, it would be their dream to have a kid. And to see Boo was like, I don't want to be with a kid. I'm free. I was with a kid. And seeing the difference, I want to be free with maybe a lot of kids at the playground. I can make all of these kids happy. And I think, like, it's beautiful of him that he's loyal, but it was for him the character arc or the difference between the beginning of the movie Woody and the ending. It was like he was letting go of this loyalty, you know. Yeah,
this loyalty and like this obligation, but it was not like loyalty, because in the end he did what he gave himself, like the mission he gave himself in the beginning.
Yeah,
like go and save Forky at all costs. Like he did that to the very end, so his loyalty is still there. It's just more that what he actually want to do.
True.
I don't think he loses his loyalty just because he left Bonnie.
Exactly.
I think yes, he did everything he could and said like, now I'm leaving. No.
And like, did you see in the beginning when Molly took away his star and gave it to the other cowboy
you mean
girl?
Bonnie?
Yeah, cowgirl. Yeah. What was her name? Was it Bonnie? Yeah, it was Bonnie. No,
Bonnie's
was it Bonnie? Yeah, it was Bonnie. It was Bonnie. Because he was in the closet and she took away his sheriff star and gave it to the other
Jesse.
To Jesse. You got the names.
Yes.
I don't. I have no clue on whatever. So he gave that. She took it from him and gave it to Jesse, and it meant a lot to him that she took it away. He was like hurt, but he was. He was like sad that she took away his star and that he was like left alone. Yeah. But at the ending, before he left with Boo, he gave the star to Jesse. because he was like, okay, you take over, you're the leader now. I thought that was pretty beautiful.
Yeah, and that was also like there was a lot of foreshadowing, of course.
Yeah.
Like, Disney movies are famous for foreshadowing and all of that. But the passing of the sheriff badge, like in the end, when Woody leaves, he gives it to Jesse. And also, that's a big hint that he didn't get picked for playtime a lot. They said early on that it was like the third time in a row when he doesn't get picked.
Yeah.
And like literally every other toy gets picked.
Exactly.
So already in the beginning we get a hint that Woody is not this like awesome toy anymore.
Yeah, and he was
at least to Bonnie.
He didn't let go of the idea that Bonnie she doesn't want him anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a great thing if he left. And it's exactly, it's foreshadowing that he will go on, you know. Yeah,
and it's more easier for him to leave.
Yeah.
For example, compared to Forky or Jesse.
Yeah.
Because they're more valuable to Barney than Woody.
He was saying, Jesse, she needs you more than me.
Yeah.
You will be there for her. Take over, you know?
Yeah.
Because he felt this obligation. It's also like the favorite toy. When Forky was the favorite toy, he was important. So when he's giving Jessie the thing and saying, okay, now you are the most important toy for her. If she loses you, she's gonna be super, super upset. Maybe it's like a symbolic thing for how grown-ups look at stuff that maybe is not important and seeing them as something super important, giving too much value to stuff. Because if you think about the whole thing, if Bonnie loses Forky, she will cry for maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And that would be it. Like, kids are not so sentimental. Like, she would like cry at it for maybe 2 hours and like forget about it.
I think it would, if it was like real life, Forky would be like maybe an hour and then like gone forever.
Yeah, exactly.
But for example, if it was like an actual toy that you had like a lot of time with, for example, let's say Andy.
Yeah.
In the first movies, Andy has Woody, his favorite toy. If he loses Woody, I think that wouldn't like take 1 hour. I think that would take like.
But you get it, like one day, 2
time.
days. It wouldn't take. It wouldn't be that important. It would.
Yeah.
I think it's like how we look at stuff. Like, I don't have an example right now, but I think in our daily life, maybe our phones, like we look at our phones like these are the most important things that we have. If I lose them, I'm gonna die, you know. I can't be without it for an hour or two. But if you just like get your phone stolen, funny story, I got my phone stolen this summer, and if you get your phone stolen, you're like, okay, like I'm not in a rush to do stuff. Like, I can just phone my family and say, hey, I'm good. I'm all good. Like, I'm alive. My phone got stolen. Don't be scared. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be a problem. You can just go to whatever they call like the phones in the street and like pay some
phone booths.
Phone booth, or like just hey to some stranger and say, can I borrow your phones? People are super super nice. So I think it might be a connection to stuff that we have in ourselves. Maybe they're trying to say, look at your daily self, look at what you value stuff at, and maybe cut down on it. Maybe it's not that important, you know?
Yeah, that we should maybe think like, if we lose something, like we should not have so much sentimental value to physical objects.
Yeah.
Maybe. That...
yeah, I think that's a super good symbolic. Like, don't have too much.
Yeah, but don't have any either, because then you will treat everything like, oh, I dropped it. You should have like some respect to the, for example, like a camera or something. You should have some respect to the object that you're using or like having.
Yeah, of course.
But
like,
not like
if I have a 20,000 kroners camera, I'm not gonna like play with it as if it was like not important. I think it's more like, okay, like people are more important than than things.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Like maybe if I'm doing this not so important thing and my friend is waiting for me, it would be like, yeah, you understand.
Yeah.
But what did you think about Sporky? Sporky? It's called Sporky, right?
I actually like Sporky.
Sporky, and that he wanted to be in the garbage. Because I thought it was super funny. Like,
I think that brings like a bigger question to the universe of the franchise. Like, so anything can come alive as long as it's like someone's property or something. Like that was just
you know what I think it is.
It's just like a bunch of trash.
Yeah.
Like compiled, but because she gave love to the like toy. Like, oh, this is my creation. This is like my friend Sporky.
Okay, here it is. When a kid, as soon as a kid plays with a toy, it becomes real. Why? Because when you're playing with a toy, you're fantasizing about it. Fantasizing something like that about it being alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you like giving it life through like creativity.
Yeah, exactly. Through your
imagination.
Imagination, there we go. Through your imagination, you're giving it like a life.
Yeah, but that's
as soon as she does that, I think like the universe of Toy Story is one big imagination of a kid. It's like the energy,
big.
like
you're thinking big.
I'm thinking enormous. Okay, so I think it's like the energy that the kid gives to the toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I think it's just as long as the.
Do you get me?
Yeah, they give some sort of like love, maybe not like actual love, like I love this Forky.
No, I think
as
soon as like the imagination of this is like because a toy is you're imagining something to be real. You're playing. Even like GTA, you're sitting there playing GTA, going around shooting people, killing stuff, driving through ramps and stuff like that. As soon as you like, that is like an alternative reality that you're like bringing to life. You know, if nobody played GTA wouldn't be a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because no one would do it.
As soon as you play GTA, it becomes alive.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean? So as soon as the kids give imagination to the toy, it becomes alive. So it doesn't matter what it is.
So if you play, for example, with like a plastic bag, and you say like, oh, it's like a big mouth monster.
Yeah.
Does it come alive?
I think so. I really think so.
I guess this is like thinking, too much.
Well,
this is like trying to break down.
Yeah, well, I think for
universe.
them, they want the people to see it as, okay, she made a toy. Like a toy, what does all toys have in common?
Yeah, it's that kids have gave them like a part of their imagination to bring them alive.
Exactly.
But then they actually become alive.
For us, the viewers. So that's how I see it.
Okay.
You get me?
I have one thing about or like no one thing, but
I really hope this camera is rolling, by the way.
I
have no idea. Like I didn't double check, so I really hope you're rolling.
Yeah. Should I double check?
No, it's cool.
Okay.
How long are we in? I don't know. I have no idea.
I think like 40, 30. Nah, I could be
no.
wrong.
Okay, let's continue. Okay. So Sporky.
No.
Okay, what do you want to say?
So Sporky is a new character.
No.
Forky, a new character.
Forky.
No, Sporky.
Is there Forky?
Is it Sporky or Forky?
Oh yeah! In the end, she made another toy.
That was like a knife.
What was the name of that?
I don't think they said
Knifey?
it. But Sporky or Forky, whatever. I think that was a pretty cool new concept of a character. He had pretty cool, funny scenes. But I did really like.
Garbage.
Huh?
I want to be in the garbage.
Just runs up to the garbage. I'm trash.
I'm trash.
I thought of Danny DeVito. You know, I'm the trash man. I eat garbage.
Who made that voice?
I have no clue.
Trash.
So I like Forky and Sporky, but the character I really enjoyed the most, that was a new character, was Gabby.
Gabby.
the quote-unquote villain.
Oh, dude, you know, this, like, I want to call this movie, like, very, very moody. Like, the whole movie is super moody. Because they go from, like, this romance to this flashback kind of depressing moment to when they go into the antique store. Like, the whole scene, or maybe it's, like, 2 or 3 scenes, are super creepy. They're, like, foreshadowing creepiness, you know? It's like The Shining when they had, like, were going with the 2 small girls. The boy. When they were following the boy with the Steadicam, it was like, you know, something is gonna come the fuck up.
Yeah, something's gonna jump up.
Yeah, something is gonna happen. So
yeah, I really like the character because in the beginning you get the obvious vibe that
she's gonna kill someone.
Yeah, she's the villain.
Yeah.
She has her evil henchman, the Vincent or whatever their name was. And
they were so creepy. Like,
yeah,
sorry.
They were more creepy. Gabby wasn't creepy.
They were
creepy.
super creepy. They were like, I was shitting myself how they moved, and they were like,
they had like
running like this, and I was like, ah,
yeah.
Dude, people should use them in like whatever, like, scary movies. They should be used more frequently. Like, it was
That's
genius how they, like, you know, because they weren't even speaking, my dude. They were like, I think there is a symbol in there as well, like how they couldn't speak,
and that made them more scarier.
Yeah, like why couldn't, you know why they couldn't speak? Because we speak with them. They're like they're the puppet. Like we puppets, make the voice. Like people do the voice for them.
I think they were like very reminiscing, or like they drew a very strong connection to Annabelle.
Oh, yeah.
Because they felt like haunted dolls or puppets.
But they were cute. They were just doing whatever.
Yeah.
I think that, like, the whole character of them, Annabelle wasn't doing whatever someone else wanted her to do. But these dolls, right?
Yeah.
These dolls do whatever you want them to do. Like the puppet master make them do whatever he wants them to do, right?
Like Gabby.
Exactly. No, not like Gabby.
Oh, you mean like the actual function of the toy?
Yeah, the actual function of the toy. You control it, right? Well, all toys, you control them, but this one...
Yeah, but these are the ones that
you actually control their
head movement. And
all the movement. And even the voice. And in this movie, they're not the evil master, like whatever it's called, like the
puppets. Yeah.
There's
no one controlling them,
master.
so they don't have a voice.
They're not the evil master like Gabby is. Gabby is like the master of them, but they are just following whatever she makes them do.
Yeah. And if we go back...
I'm like reacting to it as if I said something super deep, like, dude, we're on something.
We're on something.
We're on something. Oh shit!
The puppets.
The toys are fucking puppets in real world, and in the Toy Story movie.
No, but the thing about like Gabby is that you get the obvious hint that she's the villain.
Yeah.
All she wants is the music box, and then when she kidnaps Sporky, Forky, whatever, you get the feeling of, okay, she's gonna be like torturing him, or like trying to get everything out of him, and like become an enemy, like obviously. But she didn't. Yeah, she treats him like very well and everything, and like just sits and talks with him. And I think, oh, she's gonna break Forky's heart in the end or something.
Yeah.
But no, she just like was a cool person.
Yeah, she was actually like pretty. It was romantic almost.
Yeah, she just had one goal. That was to get the kid.
Yeah.
And
super beautiful. And it was just an amazing plot twist that the kid, the kid wasn't like, nah, like threw her away.
Yeah, because I thought that would be like the happy ending, like the villain got their happy ending and like Woody and the others would escape. But then when she gets rejected by her Harmony, I think her name was, the kid.
Yeah.
And you see like Woody goes back, and obviously being the stronger person to help an enemy when they need help. But I thought like Gabby would be aggressive or mean or something like that. But she was like, oh, you can have it back if you want. It didn't work out for me. I'm just gonna no. And she felt like a person.
Maybe you know what? Maybe it was like, giving that extra push to don't like whatever you're just so goddamn, you just want that phone so bad, and you're like, you can do, you'll do whatever it takes to get whatever the thing that you want, right?
Yeah.
And it's maybe that's not the right thing for you. I think it was really, she did everything to get that.
She got greedy in the end. She did literally everything she could just to get a chance to get a kid. It didn't work out.
It was the same. It was almost that she had a crush, and like that person wasn't the right for her. It wasn't the right person for her, and she gave up after that. But then she found someone that needed her more.
Yeah, someone that actually needed her instead of Harmony.
Exactly. Like Harmony was in there taking a toy, going back like every week, taking a new toy and leaving it at the park every goddamn week. But this time she found someone that would actually like play with her a long time. It wouldn't be like only a week. I love like, oh, go into the light, just stay there, not too much. Like perfect. Now lay down.
So I think like just in general, she was like. You can feel the connection to her. Like I could sympathize with her.
Yeah.
She's not like a boring villain. It's like, I'm gonna do everything I can to. For example, in the third movie, Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
The villain of, the teddy bear, if you remember.
Oh, the purple teddy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was not like a super bad character, but he was like the generic one. He acts good in the beginning, turns out he's evil
like
because he has like a bad backstory, and then in the end he's just like evil until the end and nothing actually happens to him. But Gabby felt like she wasn't a villain. She was just like misunderstood in the beginning because her method of getting her goal.
Like, she was a villain, but I think it's about giving a little bit of sympathy to the villain as well. Yeah. Like when you understand what the villain want, like some men want to see the world burn, What does the villain want? Like every villain wants something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's to destroy Earth, but like if they knew what would happen when they got their whatever they want to have, maybe they wouldn't be such bad of a person. When you understand their backstory, maybe you wouldn't be an evil guy or a girl in this instance.
Yeah, and I think just like she was just a cool fresh air, like a bit of fresh air.
Yeah.
Instead of the generic Disney villain or like the generic villain in general, she was just one character.
Yeah.
I think her as a villain in the first act. In the middle act, she's just like someone with another objective, and then in the last act she's just a character.
Yeah, I think it was pretty nice how they wrapped everything. Everyone got closure in a way, and in the ending we got to see Bunny and what was it called Bunny and Duck get their like revenge on the guy. Did you see the last thing? When they became like enormous and like spitting
because
fire.
they were telling their plan.
Dude, how long do you think that 5 seconds took to make?
It would have taken. I heard that apparently this took the frame. Like some frames were extremely long. I don't know. Have you ever rendered 3D? Before?
No, never. And I was like exciting to talk to you about this because you actually have a lot of experience with animation. Okay, like with me, like if you compare, you have tons of experience.
Yeah, I have some experience.
Yeah, so you know the basics of how it works.
Yeah.
So that last bit, even it was super funny, and it made the whole movie a lot better. Not a lot better, but like it was a lot super fun, How long do you think it took to make? Like extra?
Like that's really hard to just like say like how long it takes. Because
like what does
I think there are other scenes where that's harder. Where, for example, they're on the top of the carousel,
okay,
and they're looking at the entire town during broad daylight.
Yeah.
And you see like trees are swaying. You see kids are running, and they're not like running like this. Yeah, they were doing like actual things. And,
okay,
like,
so
balls were running and like rolling and
in animation.
Yeah.
How I understand it to be that you build this world, right? So you have this 3D world, and then you add in details. You add more and more details to this scene.
Yeah.
So do you think they had maybe the whole park as one big like place in like whatever program they were using, and then when they went in close they just brought more details, so they had objects that they would like
I think they definitely had like a big park, for example, for the overview shots and like when you see the entire park.
Yeah.
Then you have like one big model of the park, but some of the like shots when they're like just a certain part of the park, for example when they're in the
underneath or something like that,
like when Woody meets Bo at the underpass, or when they're in the sandbox or something. I think those are created on the side.
Yeah, so it's like, but do you think
because creating like a big park fully detailed all over the place, and they don't even need all the places like to
but
record.
I mean like the kids, like do they like make a model of the kid and then put it in the background? You know what I mean?
I think so, yeah.
Do they like make a lot of models of different kids and then they just can move them around, like keyframe them to make movements in the background? Because if they have maybe one model,
tracking.
Maybe if they have, I have no idea, but
okay.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If they have like one big model of the whole park, and then they can go from like the different places. I don't know. Does it seem?
Yeah, they have like I think they have like a couple of default kids, if you say so.
Yeah.
And they just like bum 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 bum. They have the all same skeleton, so you can like move them around the same way. They all respond in the same way, so.
And you know how hard it is to make someone move in animation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think they definitely keyframe some things. Like some characters you just can't act out. Yeah. You have to keyframe them.
It was so funny, like the soldier when they were outside of the like race, whatever. That
when you're doing high fives and stuff.
Yeah, he was like, goddamn.
Yeah, they were very like this. That was easily keyframing. But for example, like.
But what is the difference between keyframing and motion tracking?
So keyframing is that you have the character, or at least the skeleton, and then you, for example, at 2 seconds, the pose is like this. And then at maybe like 4 seconds, the pose is like this.
I think, well, maybe
so
it's
between
frame
those,
size, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, you put a keyframe between like 2
and
and 4.
then it...
And then automatically it does like this.
Okay.
If you go back and forward. That's keyframing, and with that you can do like backflips and do whatever you want. But it doesn't... If you don't put so much time or effort into it, it doesn't look realistic.
Yeah.
You can do it to make realistic, but that's like tons of work.
I think it looks like, because it's if you do a backflip, like you have one keyframe is you're standing, and then another keyframe you've done like a 360, right? I think it would take the same amount of time through the whole thing, so it would look like pretty weird. Because like if you're gonna do a backflip, it's gonna go pretty quick here, and it's gonna go slower here, and then it's gonna be pretty quick to the ground.
Exactly,
again.
like timing with the gravity and like.
But for it would be like whoop. It would take like exactly the same speed through the whole thing.
But the thing with I think they did with the humans, at least, not all humans, but for example when they're in the background, they're not so much in focus. I think they used motion tracking.
What is the difference? Like how does motion tracking
that's when you see like behind the scenes of Avatar, for example. when they have like these morph suits with all these dots.
Yeah.
So what they do, the 3D character does in engine.
Okay. But do you think they made it with that as well? Like in
when they need like a lot of realistic animations, but not so much focus on it. For example, Woody.
Because it's toys. Like toys have, well, you see it have this weird kind of movement. They don't have like superhuman movement.
No,
like,
but that's like
Woody,
keyframing.
Woody have like, he's not like superhuman.
Yeah, so they probably keyframed him, but not like, because no actor can be running like him, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe someone acted out it in...
Maybe the humans, you know, the kids in the background and stuff like that.
They were probably motion tracked. But maybe they motion tracked Woody, took footage from when a character, like a real human, runs crazy like this, and then they just exaggerate it with keyframing in post.
Okay, so how does cameras work? Like, what is an animation?
That's the part I don't really get.
What is like an animation program?
Like Cinema 4D, Maya.
And you have used Cinema 4D, right?
Yeah.
So how do you capture video in that? So how do you film it? Like, I have no idea.
I mean, you can set up a camera.
Like a digital camera, right?
Like it's a null, pretty much. From
what?
After Effects. Imagine it's like the skeleton of the camera.
Okay.
Just like it looks like a camera, but when you actually render, you don't see anything there.
Okay.
Then you can take the perspective of the camera, and you can set like lens, depth of field, zoom. Like it's an actual camera that you can play around with in the program. And you can set up like
when you like record.
Yeah.
Do you record in the program, right?
Yeah, it's just like when you render, you don't record in the program. You when you render.
Yeah.
So when you render, you can choose to have it rendered from a certain camera, multiple cameras. You can set up a composition where
and follow the keyframes and whatever like movement happens.
So imagine like you have here a plane. Everything is there, animation, they're running around, whatever. And then you're just like, oh, I want a camera here. You drag in a camera. You can keyframe the camera to do like pans and like tilts and stuff. But you say like, oh, I want to cut. I want to have like another camera. They can set up a composition where you jump between cameras.
Okay.
So you set up all that, and then you just click render, and then you get your...
Oh, so you don't even need to have like one like you don't need to build the movement and then have one camera, and that camera, when you've rendered that camera, have another camera, and you're like, I want this shot as well, and like some pickups and stuff like that, and you have them all over the place. You just have in one render. You have everything.
You don't have to render like, for example, when you film with multiple cameras like this.
Yeah.
You don't take like, that's an entire render, that's an entire render, and that's an entire render. You don't do like that. You do, for example, one render where that's one camera.
Yeah,
that's one camera.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Except if you want to do like post-editing stuff. I don't know. Maybe they do it because they like have a lot of time to render and stuff all that. But normally you just do one render, because if you have a lot of details and heavy lights and stuff, that takes a lot of time to just do one frame. For example, in this movie, I think the longest frame that took to render, and imagine, this is Pixar, they have like the heaviest computers ever. I think they had 117 computers just rendering.
Just rendering.
And one frame, the longest frame that took to do, I think, this can be wrong, I don't know, this is what I heard, one frame took 1.5 hours.
Damn.
I think.
One frame.
And then usually...
That's one frame of 24 frames
in 1 second.
In 1 second.
And then this is like a almost 2-hour movie? No?
So maybe like
1.5?
So like if that second was the heaviest, you can like imagine that the whole second was pretty like as heavy.
Yeah, that's it's like
so 1.5 hour times 24. That's 1.5 day.
Yeah.
Quick math.
I think they created a program called Simulation or something. Or maybe it was like earlier, but they have specific render programs. So some programs like animation, you can render in the program. then you can buy like heavier render, so you can do cooler stuff and render faster maybe or stuff like that.
Because you know what I mean.
But they did like one,
yeah,
from scratch.
Yeah, because you know what I mean when I say, what was it? I was gonna say something, but now I don't remember, and we're gonna talk about something else.
Oh, you mean the camera? No,
what?
The split.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember now. Thank you so much. Yeah. So the thing is, when you film something outside, like it's not animation. When you film something, it's you have like a lot of the director is like, okay, I have an idea of what's gonna happen, and he films whatever he needs, and then he does pickups of stuff, right? And he's maybe we can try this from here and try this and try this. And when you're editing, the editor have all this material, and he sits and he like plays around with it, and he experiments with different, like, the tempo. So when you're in cinema 4D, and you got this, okay, camera here, then in the same render, okay, camera here and camera here, like, isn't that harder for the editor to, because like you can't fine tune the rhythms when you have it in one render, you know what I mean?
I think the editors work like a lot with the rendering process.
Okay.
So like they don't do anything of the renders, but they come there and you see like, oh, is this what's gonna be rendered, or is this gonna be rendered?
Good enough?
Maybe they even ask for, like, for example, the entire of that scene.
Maybe we should look this up later. We can like how the director work with the editor in an animation. Yeah. Maybe the director is even there, because the director needs to know like how it's gonna look like, and the rhythm, and is it okay or not.
I think the editor works with the animators in renders. Like, okay, so it's gonna be like this, but most of the parts is gonna be first gonna be like character animators that like animate the characters and all objects and like that. Then there will be composition animators where they put in, like, okay, this character, he runs here, it's gonna jump here, and the camera angle is gonna be down here, and it talks with the director and like, all this stuff. So everything is kind of done in the program, like cuts, like, oh, this cut is like nice, and over here, and
it's done in the program. Yeah.
So the editor, I think, sits with them and listens, so the person understands.
Here's a question. In one render, can you render stuff from one world that you like, one scene that you have set up, and another?
I don't think so.
So they can know exactly the tempo of the cuts. You know what I mean?
Because
they're in different places all the time.
Imagine like as a theater. I think this is easier to describe. So in a theater, one scene could be like Rapunzel when she's like having out her hair and stuff like that.
Okay.
Then you have the clock tower, or like the tower, some bushes, some forest. Everything plays out in one take or one render. And like everything at the tower, no. But when they're gonna play it out into dark forest, for example,
that's another way.
They need to, like, roll out the
gardiner.
the curtains and stuff like that. And they need to change the scene. And that's the same thing with the renders, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because even though it doesn't even is visible in the render,
it's one render per scene.
It's kind of like still there, so it takes a lot of memory and like energy.
That's pretty cool.
I think so, at least.
I think we have a lot to learn. A lot to learn. But something interesting that I've seen about this movie even before watching it, and it was like the reason that got me to tell you, hey, we should watch this movie. Was I don't remember what channel it made the video on YouTube, but it was about how they used realistic like cameras in Toy Story 4.
No.
And one of the scenes was when Gabby was talking to Forky, and they had it like a close up of her face, and Forky was in the background, and she was like looking in the mirror, and you could see like I don't remember the technique, but it's like a split focus, because like everything in the background was in depth, so it wasn't like wasn't very like an open aperture. You had a very like shallow depth of field. But even so, you had her face in focus, and you could see the split thingy.
The blurriness.
Split, yeah. Because you have like these special lens filters that gives you like two focus points. One half side and one on the right side. One on the left and one on the right. And you could see that effect. Like, they could just have them in different focus without the unfocus in the center, but they chose to have that to make it be realistic.
I think they could easily just make everything in full focus and like blur out the background.
Yeah.
But by doing this, it feels more realistic. Not in a way that it looks more realistic, but just a feeling of like they use actual cameras. Makes it feel realistic.
Yeah, it's like connecting it to normal movies, and I think it's another thing that makes this okay. Old people, it's not only kids that can watch this. This is actually like really well done. This is something that grown-ups that are used to like very good movies and like the top of Hollywood that see details can also watch this and enjoy it because it looks realistic.
Yeah, exactly. They used like advanced camera techniques. They even created the lenses like in engine to get the real effects of a real lens.
Okay.
So
that's pretty cool.
Like real cameramen knew like, oh, this scene should have this zoom in and this setting and all that.
Yeah.
It's like incredible work
and
with all the cameras.
I looked up that the DP. It was in the video. The videos like talked about that the DP. What was his name? His name is Patrick Lynn. He was the DP of I think all the Toy Story movies, and
I know he was on Toy Story 3 and Inside Out.
Yeah, exactly.
And so. He also got like a lot of attention when he did like the Inside Out, where inside of the body with all the, I haven't seen that movie, but all the motions.
Yeah.
All of the shots are still, like from like no camera shake. Everything's just still and smooth. But when you film the little girl in real life, when she's on the bus and all that, the camera is like, real.
Yeah.
And they recorded it with an actual
like an camera rig.
Camera rig, yeah. But there was no camera. They were just doing it to follow
so
around in the program.
Yeah, he developed this technique, or I think it's a sensor that feels like the movement in the rig and translated in the software for the camera in the program in Cinema 4D or whatever to like have that movement. So that was pretty goddamn cool.
There's so much technical stuff that you can break down from this, because every single Toy Story first Toy Story, of course, legendary because it was the first 3D full-length movie.
Yeah.
And it really proved that you don't have to do 2D animation anymore, you can do 3D. With the second movie, they improved the humans, like cloth and human like expressions.
I really have no idea of the difference. There was such a long time ago I've seen it.
And the third one was just, I don't really know what they did with the third one. It was just
Patrick Lynn came into the game and changed everything.
Yeah, it looked prettier, and then this one, it was just like the another next step.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was awesome, and I think it's a good place to end this.
Yeah, I don't know how long we went.
Yeah, I have no idea, but we
hope
like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. we should have like for next time we should have
like a timer.
A timer on or something. Yeah. Like just so we know how much have gone by. Want to say that this was directed by Josh Cowley, edited by Axel Jedis. I'm probably like screwing this up for me, and the DP of it was Patrick Lynn and Jean-Claude Cliché, something like that.
Short summary.
Yeah.
What do you think about the movie?
It was good. It was awesome. I loved it. It was the first animated film that I can say it's nice for grown-ups as well. Except of Incredibles 2. The Incredibles 2. It was awesome as well.
I think it's an amazing like technical aspect of like animation. As a movie, I think it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't still think that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse kind of tops it still.
Haven't seen it.
You have to see it.
I should see it.
But that's more because I'm a little bit of an animation geek.
Yeah.
That's why I have strong connections to the Spider-Verse. But this one was just, it's like the story. I'm gonna be completely honest. The story was like, okay. It's kind of like the same
story,
as...
The story is like, it's deep, but it's like...
They had deep aspects and like deep character
but it's
moments.
also for children.
But the actual story was not like super,
I think we like a lot of yelling and stuff and bad words getting like...
Yeah, Key and Peele is a perfect example of that they bring in modern humor.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, if you watch the first Toy Story or the earlier Toy Story, the humor is like the same throughout the entire movie. And in this movie, you feel like there's the same humor, it's the same like structure, and then they throw in like Key and Peele, which is like they're super fun and all, but I don't think they really fit in.
Yeah.
Like their comedic moments were funny, but it kind of like took me out of the Toy Story story.
Yeah. True.
And also this story was like not Toy Story anymore, it's like Woody's story.
And I think
Woody was too much in the center.
It's great from a realistic type of view. Like, we love Rick and Morty. Have you seen Big Mouth?
No.
You should watch Big Mouth. I just watched the season 3. It was awesome. Okay. And like those are good animations as well. Like, we love those. They're not realistic at all. Like, they don't have any realistic stuff in it. Like, it's not like compared to Toy Story 4, it's not realistic. But Toy Story 4 is like super good in a sense of it's super realistic if you compare it to real movies.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the movie was good. Like, definitely, like 3.5 out of 5? 4, maybe? It's like more of the technical stuff that I'm more, excited about.
Yeah, true.
The story itself, some characters were awesome. Bo's new design, when she like jumps around with the hook. Yeah. That was just like satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, the story wise, and am I gonna rewatch it? Probably sometime, but not maybe in the near future.
So 3.5 out of 5.
3.5.
We need to like name it something cool, like
we'll figure out that next time.
3.5 out of 5 bananas or something, something like that. Yeah,
Sons or stars.
I don't know. I would say like 4. I guess 4 out of 5. It was pretty good.
Right.
I liked it. I enjoyed watching the movie. It wasn't like I was dragging time. It was nice.
Yeah,
it was refreshing.
But, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it for us.
This is our first time.
This is my first time.
Be careful. Hopefully this will be one of many. So this doesn't become like the traditional. Oh, we're gonna do more podcasts, and then we do no.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're starting a podcast here.
Please watch, please.
Yeah. Thank you for listening or watching.
Thanks.
We have no idea what we're gonna do the next week. We're probably gonna sit and talk about it right now. Like, just decide what movie we're gonna watch.
Yeah, should we? Yeah, I have no
idea. But should we say it?
Nah.
Because we have no idea.
We have no idea. Yeah.
But maybe because we're gonna listen to this 1 week in. And
hopefully we have like a name for our podcast or like a channel or something. we honestly have no clue. We just winged.
Did we even say our names, or should we say it? Yeah, we should.
I don't think we introduced ourselves. I think it's too late now.
No, we didn't do it.
It's too late.
We're gonna introduce ourselves in the next.
We can do it in
episode.
The intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not in the intro. Wait, are you thinking about the intro right now?
Yeah.
You haven't done the intro yet.
No.
You're gonna sit and do it.
Okay.
We're gonna introduce ourselves in the next episode.
This was like test.
Thank you for listening.
Hopefully we have a better setup than a one Blue Yeti.
Yeah. One Blue Yeti in the middle and like this background.
Yeah.
Very nice. I think you can see the this from that camera.
I hope it records.
Yeah, I hope these are recording as well.
Yeah.
See you. Thank you. Bye.
See you next time.
Cheers.